My precious child, listen carefully. This is the sign you have been praying for. Do not ignore these words or think they are merely a coincidence. This moment is not random. It has been arranged by God for you. God is speaking to your heart and answering the deepest prayers you have carried within. You asked for confirmation, and God is giving it to you now. You asked for a sign, and this message is meant to reassure you. You wondered whether God had forgotten you, but He wants you to know that He has always seen you. He has heard every prayer and has never left your side. This meeting between you and these words is not by chance. It was planned long ago for a time when you would be ready to receive this message. You have often asked, God, do you see me? You have wondered, do you hear me? You have questioned, do you care about what I am facing? God's answer is clear. Yes, I see you. Yes, I care deeply about you. His love for you is greater than anything you can imagine. Every prayer you whispered has reached Him. Every silent cry has been heard. Every tear you shed has been noticed. None of your pain has been ignored. None of your struggles have gone unseen. Today, God is responding to your cries. This is the answer you have been waiting for. Do not believe the thought that this message is meant for someone else. The message is directed to you. God is speaking to your heart, your life, and your journey. He is cutting through all the noise around you to remind you that He has heard your deepest concerns. He wants you to know that you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The blessing or breakthrough you have been waiting for is already beginning to unfold. Pay attention to these words, because they contain the encouragement you have been seeking. God understands the burdens you have been carrying. He knows the weight that keeps you awake at night. He knows the fears that tell you nothing will ever change. He knows the thoughts that make you believe your prayers are unanswered. He knows the worries that make your dreams seem impossible. God says those negative thoughts are not the truth. They do not come from Him. They come from forces that want to keep you discouraged and hopeless. God wants to replace those lies with truth. The truth is that He has never abandoned you. The waiting season was not because He was uncaring. The delay was not because He ignored you. The delay happened because He was preparing you for what is ahead. He believes you are now becoming ready for what He has planned. What is coming will make the waiting worthwhile. Look back and remember how God has carried you through difficult times. Even when you felt alone, He was with you. During nights of sorrow and tears, He remained beside you. When storms entered your life, He protected and strengthened you. When you felt weak, He held you steady. Even when you questioned Him, He never turned away. Now God declares that the season of silence is ending. The opportunity you have been waiting for is beginning to open. The answer you thought would never come is moving toward you. This message is meant to reassure you that God has heard your prayers. His hand is working in your life even if you cannot yet see it fully. God knows the questions you have asked. You have wondered why the journey has taken so long. You have wondered why life has been so difficult. You have wondered why these challenges happened to you. God says the waiting was not a punishment. It was a period of preparation. Every tear you shed helped strengthen and deepen your faith. Every challenge you faced helped make your character stronger. Every painful experience helped deepen your faith and resilience. Every loss helped refine you, just as fire purifies gold. You thought your life was falling apart, but God was actually building something greater within you. You felt forgotten, but God was quietly preparing your future behind the scenes. Even when you could not see it, He was arranging circumstances for your good. He was bringing the right people into place. He was changing situations and seasons in your life. He was preparing everything for the perfect moment. And according to this message, that moment has now arrived. That is why you were led to these words today. This is presented as more than an ordinary message. It is described as a special moment of confirmation. It is presented as an answer to the sign you have been seeking. Do not dismiss it or explain it away through doubt. You may have often prayed, God, please give me a sign. You may have asked, Lord, if you are still with me, let me know. The message answers by saying that God is with you. God is on your side. God is working on your behalf. He is making a way forward for you. This message is meant to assure you that your prayers have not been wasted. Discouragement may have tempted you to give up. You may have felt that God was silent. You may have been tempted to settle for less than what you hoped for. Yet you continued to hold on. Even when your faith felt weak, you kept going. Even when your hope faded, you remained faithful. Because of your perseverance, this message says that a reward is coming. This is presented as the sign you have been waiting for. The words, "I rest in you, Lord," express trust and surrender to God. But this message is not only about receiving comfort. It is also a call to move forward in faith. The sign is not meant to make you passive. It is meant to encourage action and confidence. You are encouraged to rise and move forward. You are encouraged to trust God's guidance. You are encouraged to embrace the blessings ahead. Do not allow fear to stop you. Do not allow doubt to silence your faith. Do not allow the opinions of others to distract you from what you believe God is saying. This message describes the relationship as personal between you and God. You are encouraged to keep these words close to your heart. Treasure them and remember them. Let them motivate and strengthen you. Let them provide stability during difficult times. Let them guide your path forward. When doubts arise, remember this moment. When fear tells you it was only a coincidence, remember what you felt. When uncertainty tells you the message was not meant for you, remember how deeply it touched you. The message says that God's guidance often comes in quiet and unexpected ways. He can speak through gentle impressions and small signs. The peace you felt during a difficult season may have been His presence. The opportunity that appeared when things seemed hopeless may have been His provision. The encouragement that came when you were ready to quit may have been His support. This message claims to be another example of that guidance. It presents God as the one directing events behind the scenes. It says that nothing about this moment is accidental. It suggests that this moment was part of God's plan from the beginning. The message concludes by saying that this is the sign you requested. You are encouraged not to ignore it. You are encouraged not to let distractions take your focus away. It is presented as God's answer to your deepest prayers. It is offered as confirmation that He is listening. The message says that God is present. It says that God is speaking. It says that God is working. It says that God is fulfilling His promises. You are encouraged to hold these words in your heart. You are encouraged to let them strengthen your faith. You are encouraged to trust that no difficulty can extinguish the hope God has placed within you. The message ends by declaring that this is your sign. Here's a clear, line-by-line paraphrase of this section. This is an important moment in your life. This message is presented as a direct answer from heaven. It is given as an expression of God's love, care, and attention toward you. God invites you to listen carefully to what He is saying. He speaks with deep love and eternal concern for your life. He has seen every tear you have shed. Even the tears you hid from others have been noticed. He has watched over you during every sleepless night. He knows the worries and questions that have weighed heavily on your heart. He has heard every prayer you have spoken. Even the quietest prayers have reached Him. None of your cries have gone unheard. None of your pain has gone unnoticed. According to this message, God has been with you through every moment. He has been protecting and sustaining you. He has been waiting for the right time to reveal His plans. The message says that this time has now arrived. This is presented as the answer you have been longing for. You may have asked, "Lord, do you remember me?" You may have wondered, "Do you still see me?" The message responds by saying that God has always seen you. His attention has never left your life. Even during your darkest seasons, His presence remained with you. Even in moments of deep despair, He was near. You may have interpreted silence as distance, but the message says that silence did not mean absence. Instead, it was a season of preparation. While you were waiting for God, He was also preparing you. The delay was not a rejection of your prayers. It was part of a greater purpose. Every season of waiting was shaping your character. It was making you stronger and more prepared. It was helping you become ready for future blessings. The message suggests that receiving answers too early might not have been beneficial. But now, it says you are becoming ready for what lies ahead. You may have wondered why others seem to receive answers more quickly. You may have compared your journey with theirs. You may have asked, "What about me, Lord?" The message reminds you that every person's path is different. Your journey is unique and has its own purpose. The waiting was not meant as punishment. It was meant as protection and preparation. The message says that God was preserving future blessings for the right season. He wanted your heart to be ready to receive them fully. He wanted your faith to be strong enough to sustain them. He wanted your character to be mature enough to handle them wisely. The message describes God as a caring father who acts with wisdom. He does not act carelessly or prematurely. He works according to perfect timing. This message is presented as evidence that your season is changing. What seemed like delay was actually preparation happening behind the scenes. During every night when you felt alone, God was near. During every prayer, He was listening. Even your smallest concerns mattered to Him. Every moment of exhaustion was noticed. Every cry of desperation was heard. Every weakness and struggle had meaning. Nothing was wasted. The message says that God was using every experience as part of a larger plan. He was weaving your struggles into a greater purpose for your life. You may have felt forgotten. But according to this message, you are part of something greater than you could see. You may have felt abandoned. But God was closer than you realized. You may have felt stuck. But God was still working on your behalf. This message says that God wants you to know He has seen everything. He has heard everything. He remembers everything. And He is responding. The message reminds you that God's timing is different from human timing. What seemed like wasted time to you was valuable preparation to Him. You may have thought nothing was happening, but important work was taking place within you. God was building a strong foundation in your life. He was teaching you endurance. He was strengthening your spirit. He was refining your faith. This preparation was meant to help you handle future blessings wisely. The message suggests that receiving everything immediately might have been overwhelming. You may not have been ready to sustain it at that time. But after seasons of struggle and growth, you are stronger now. You have learned through challenges and waiting. The message says that God is now preparing to fulfill what He promised. You are encouraged not to resent seasons of waiting. Those seasons were meant to prepare you, not punish you. Waiting taught you to depend on God when other supports failed. Waiting taught you to trust His guidance during confusion. Waiting helped shape your character. Waiting increased your wisdom and discernment. Waiting opened your heart to deeper understanding. Although it seemed like you were standing still, growth was taking place beneath the surface. You were developing strong roots. Those roots will help you remain stable during future difficulties. Those roots will help you remain grounded when blessings arrive. They will give you strength to carry future responsibilities with wisdom and maturity. The season of waiting was actually a gift, even though it felt difficult and painful at the time. Now the results of that season are beginning to appear. Think about the times when you asked God for a sign. Remember the moments when you prayed, "Lord, please show me that you are still with me." This message presents itself as that confirmation. It declares that God is with you. It says that He has never abandoned you. He has heard every prayer you have spoken. Every word you have prayed has been remembered. You may have felt that your prayers disappeared without an answer. But the message says they reached God and were heard. According to this message, God was working even when you could not see it. He was arranging situations behind the scenes. He was influencing circumstances and preparing opportunities. He was bringing different parts of your life together according to His plan. The reason progress seemed invisible was because much of the work was happening beneath the surface. God was connecting events and details in ways that were beyond your understanding. Now, according to this message, the time has come for those preparations to become visible. You may wonder why the process was so painful. You may question why the answer took so long. The message responds by saying that God did not enjoy seeing you suffer. He did not take pleasure in your struggles. However, He allowed certain experiences because they helped prepare you, like gold being purified through fire. Difficult experiences helped shape and strengthen you. Challenges removed things from your life that were not meant to remain. Your tears helped nurture future growth. Your perseverance strengthened your character and prepared you for your future. The message says that none of your suffering was meaningless. Every moment had value and purpose. Every step of the journey contributed to your growth. Now the message declares that a new season is beginning. The pain that once seemed endless is starting to give way to joy. The sadness you carried will eventually be replaced with reasons to celebrate. The burdens you have been carrying are becoming lighter. The answers you have been seeking are drawing nearer. The message reminds you that you have not been forgotten. You have not been overlooked. You are valued, noticed, and deeply loved by God. According to this message, God has been working behind the scenes all along. When you felt weak, His strength was sustaining you. When you struggled to find words to pray, He still understood your needs. When your hope began to fade, He continued encouraging you. The message urges you to stop doubting this truth. What appeared to be delay was actually preparation. What appeared to be silence had a purpose. What appeared to be absence was actually hidden activity. God's work was continuing even when it could not be seen. The message describes this as a season when hidden things are becoming visible. It is portrayed as a time when prayers begin to receive answers. It is presented as a moment when waiting gives way to breakthrough and progress. The message says that God is now responding. He is providing confirmation and reassurance. He is bringing His plans to fulfillment. This moment is described as intentional rather than accidental. It is presented as a divinely appointed time. The purpose of these words is to strengthen hope within you. They are meant to remind you that you have not been forgotten. The long nights, silent prayers, and private tears are portrayed as leading toward this moment. The message declares that the waiting season is ending. It says that answers are approaching. It says that breakthrough is arriving. It presents itself as the sign you have been seeking. It is described as a response to your deepest prayers and concerns. The final message is that what looked like delay may actually have been a period of preparation and growth. Trust in God, because He is faithful and dependable. He will never abandon or fail those who trust in Him. God understands the burdens you carry deep within your heart. He knows the struggles that remain hidden from other people. He sees the worries and pains that you rarely share with anyone. He knows the loneliness that has weighed heavily on your soul. He knows the moments when you wondered if anyone truly understood you. He knows the times when you felt unnoticed and unimportant. The message says that God saw you even when you believed no one else did. He was present during moments when you felt invisible in a crowd. He was there when you longed for someone to listen and care. He saw the times when you felt forgotten by others. According to this message, you were never forgotten by God. You were never unseen or overlooked by Him. Every feeling of loneliness mattered to Him. Every desire for meaningful connection was known to Him. When you felt unvalued by people around you, God still valued you deeply. The message describes you as loved, chosen, and precious in God's sight. God also saw the pain caused by betrayal. He saw the hurt caused by people you trusted. He saw the wounds left by broken relationships and disappointments. You may have wondered how people you loved could cause such pain. You may have questioned whether it was wrong to trust others. You may have regretted opening your heart. The message says that loving and trusting others was not foolish. It was an expression of love and courage. Even when others failed you, God remained faithful. He was present during your tears and heartbreak. He saw the moments when you replayed painful memories in your mind. He saw the times when you blamed yourself for what happened. He saw the moments when your treatment by others made you question your value. The message reminds you that your worth is not determined by how others treat you. Your identity is not defined by their choices or actions. God's view of you remains unchanged. He calls you loved, chosen, and valuable. No rejection can take away that truth. When others distanced themselves from you, God remained near. When people broke your trust, God remained faithful. God also saw your financial struggles. He saw the stress caused by bills and responsibilities. He saw the times when money seemed insufficient. He saw the anxiety about providing for future needs. He saw the worry caused by unexpected expenses. He saw the moments when you wondered how you would manage. He saw your desire to help and provide for those you love. He understood the frustration of feeling unable to do more. The message says that God was present through every financial challenge. Every need was known to him. Every difficult moment was seen by him. When you thought you could not continue, he helped sustain you. The message says that his support helped carry you through those struggles. The unexpected help you received was not meaningless. The opportunities that arrived at the right time were not accidental. The assistance that came when you needed it most is described as God's provision. You may have feared not having enough, but the message says those experiences were teaching you to trust God more deeply. You may have feared scarcity and uncertainty, but the message says God was strengthening your faith. It reassures you that God has not abandoned you in your times of need. It declares that he will continue to provide and care for you. The message also addresses physical and emotional health struggles. God sees the pain in your body. He sees the exhaustion in your mind. He understands the struggles that others may not recognize. He was present during sleepless nights. He saw your fatigue and weariness. He heard your prayers for relief and healing. He saw the medical reports and diagnoses that discouraged you. He knows the fears you have carried about your future health. He understands the worries you may not have spoken aloud. He saw the times when you smiled outwardly while struggling inwardly. The message says that God was never absent during those difficult moments. He supported you when you felt weak. He strengthened you when you felt unable to continue. Every breath and every day of survival came with his sustaining help. The message describes God as a source of healing and strength. Even if the journey has been long, it says that his work in your life continues. The final reminder is this: do not believe that your prayers have been ignored. Do not think that your cries for help have gone unheard. Do not believe that God has ignored your pain. Do not think that your suffering has gone unnoticed. According to this message, God is with you during every moment of your life. He promises restoration according to his timing and purpose. The phrase, "You are my hiding place, God," expresses trust in God as a place of safety and refuge. God says he has seen the prayers that seemed unanswered. He has seen the many times you prayed in darkness and uncertainty. He knows the moments when you asked for change. He knows the times when you longed for a breakthrough. He knows the seasons when you hoped for a miracle. He saw the tears that came when answers did not arrive as expected. He saw the disappointment when the waiting seemed endless. You may have asked, "Lord, are you listening?" You may have wondered, "Lord, do you care?" The message answers by saying that God was listening all along. It says that God deeply cares about your situation. The delays were not meant to show abandonment. They were not signs of neglect. They were not acts of cruelty. The message presents them as part of God's timing. It says that God was working even when you could not see evidence of it. When you prayed, God began moving circumstances behind the scenes. When you asked for help, he began arranging things according to his plan. The reason answers seemed absent was because preparation was still taking place. The message says that none of your prayers were wasted. Every word you spoke mattered. Every tear you shed was noticed. Every act of faith was received. According to this message, God has been using those experiences as part of a larger purpose. He has been weaving them into the story of your life. The message says that one day you will understand what he was doing all along. God also saw the burdens you carried privately. He saw the struggles you never shared with anyone. He saw the times when you smiled outwardly while hurting inside. He saw the moments when you felt emotionally exhausted. He saw the mornings when simply facing the day felt difficult. He saw your fears about the future. He saw your regrets about the past. He saw the pressures you were carrying in the present. The message says that God never turned away from any of those struggles. He never abandoned you. When you believed no one noticed your pain, He noticed. When you believed no one cared, He cared. When you felt completely alone, He was still with you. He was present during every hidden struggle. He was present during every silent battle. He was present during every fear you kept to yourself. The message reminds you that your struggles do not define who you are. They were not meant to destroy you. Instead, they were meant to strengthen and refine your character. What was intended to harm you can be transformed into something beneficial. The message acknowledges the reality of your pain. It does not dismiss your feelings. It does not minimize your hardships. It does not suggest ignoring what you have endured. Instead, it says that God fully understands the depth of your experiences. He witnessed every part of your journey. The message reassures you that your suffering was not meaningless. Every scar represents a story of survival and perseverance. Every tear can become part of a testimony of growth and strength. Every loss can eventually make room for healing and restoration. The prayers that seem unanswered today may later reveal a greater purpose. The message says that your endurance has not been in vain. God has carried you through every season of life. He promises to continue guiding you into the future. You are encouraged to lift your head and take courage. Do not let loneliness convince you that you are forgotten. Do not let betrayal convince you that you are unloved. Do not let hardship convince you that there is no hope. Do not let sickness convince you that God has abandoned you. Do not let delays convince you that nothing is happening. The message says that you are seen, you are loved, you are valued, you are chosen. According to this message, every challenge you have faced has been shaping you for future growth. You are encouraged to trust God. You are encouraged to find rest in Him. You are encouraged to hold firmly to His promises. The message describes God as one who can bring good from painful situations. It describes Him as one who restores what has been lost. It describes Him as one who heals brokenness. It describes Him as one who provides during times of need. It describes Him as one who answers prayers according to His wisdom. The message concludes with this assurance. God saw you when you felt unnoticed. He knows every detail of your life. He has never stopped seeing you. He invites you to listen carefully to what He wants to say next. This message presents itself as the confirmation you have been seeking. It speaks to the prayers and requests you have brought to God. You may have asked God for a sign that He was still with you. You may have prayed for reassurance that you had not been forgotten. The message claims to be God's response to those prayers. It says that these words are not accidental or random. They are presented as a direct message of encouragement and confirmation. The message urges you not to doubt or dismiss what is being said. It describes itself as the answer you have been longing to receive. You may have wondered whether new opportunities would ever come. You may have questioned whether closed doors would ever open again. You may have wondered if God's promises for your future would ever become reality. The message responds by saying that new opportunities are approaching. It says that doors once closed may begin to open. Some of those opportunities may have seemed impossible before. Some may have appeared permanently out of reach. The message describes God as having the power to create opportunities where none seem to exist. It presents Him as one who can remove obstacles from your path. The difficulties that once seemed overwhelming are described as temporary. The limitations that held you back are portrayed as being broken. The message asks you to recognize signs of hope and encouragement within yourself. It suggests that a sense of peace or renewed hope may indicate positive change. This is described as the beginning of a new season in life. The message acknowledges that you may have experienced doubt. You may have questioned whether God's promises were real. You may have wondered if you misunderstood what you believed God was saying. The message reassures you that God's promises have not changed. It says that His plans remain active and unchanged. What He has spoken over your life is still intended to come to pass. The message describes current events as part of God's work unfolding. While you felt that you were waiting on God, He was preparing circumstances behind the scenes. He was arranging timing, opportunities, and relationships. The message says that different pieces of your life are beginning to come together. It presents this as reality rather than wishful thinking. It encourages you to see these developments as evidence of God's work. The message reminds you that God has carried you through every stage of your journey. Every delay had a purpose. Every closed door contributed to a larger plan. Every disappointment was part of a process of preparation. What looked like rejection may actually have redirected you towards something better. What felt like silence may have served a purpose you could not yet see. What felt like loss may have positioned you for future growth. The message says that none of those experiences were wasted. God has been using each part of your story for a greater purpose. Only now are some of those purposes beginning to become visible. This confirmation is described as more than encouraging words. The message says that you will eventually see evidence of God's work. You will witness outcomes that demonstrate His guidance and provision. You may encounter opportunities that seem impossible to explain naturally. When those moments come, the message says you will recognize God's involvement. You may have prayed, "Lord, show me that you still have a plan for my life." The message responds by saying that God still has a plan. It says that His plan is already unfolding. That plan may be greater than you expected. It may go deeper than you originally imagined. It may accomplish more than you currently understand. The obstacles that once frightened you will lose their power. The fears that once controlled you will begin to fade. The doubts that once filled your mind will be challenged by new evidence of God's faithfulness. The message strongly emphasizes that God is actively working. It says that no opposing force can stop His purposes. God is described as faithful and dependable. He is not portrayed as a source of confusion. He does not make promises without intending to fulfill them. The message says that you have repeatedly asked for confirmation. It presents itself as the answer to those requests. It reminds you that signs of God's care may have appeared before. These may have included unexpected peace during difficult times. They may have included opportunities that appeared at just the right moment. They may have included encouragement that came from unexpected people. The message says that because you desired greater reassurance, this confirmation is being given. It ends by declaring that this message itself is meant to serve as a sign of encouragement and hope. It presents itself as the confirmation you have been seeking. The message describes positive change as already beginning to happen. It says you no longer need to keep wondering whether God is working. You no longer need to keep questioning whether He hears your prayers. The message declares that God is present and actively involved in your life. Even if you cannot fully see it yet, changes are taking place. Circumstances are beginning to come together. Opportunities are starting to appear. Things that once held you back are beginning to lose their power. The message presents this as the start of a season of fulfillment and answered prayers. It says these words are being given so you will recognize what God is doing. The message encourages you not to move forward with doubt. Instead, it encourages you to move forward with confidence and faith. It presents these words as reassurance that God is with you. It describes them as confirmation of His faithfulness. When discouraging thoughts tell you that you have been forgotten, remember this message. When fear tells you that nothing is changing, remember these words. When doubt tells you that this encouragement is meant for someone else, remember how deeply it affected you. The message says that inner sense of conviction is God's way of reassuring you. It presents that feeling as evidence of His faithfulness. The message reminds you that you prayed for a miracle. You asked God for a sign. Its answer is that the miracle is already beginning to unfold. According to the message, God is already working behind the scenes. Resources and opportunities are being prepared. People's hearts and circumstances are being influenced. New doors and possibilities are opening. Obstacles are being removed. The message says that in time you will see the results for yourself. When those answers come, you will recognize them as God's work. The message emphasizes that these changes are not merely luck or coincidence. They are presented as part of God's plan and purpose. It describes this as a miracle that cannot be prevented. You are encouraged to rise with confidence and hope. You are encouraged to enter this new season with faith. Do not carry the disappointment of past failures into the future. Do not allow yesterday's setbacks to control today's opportunities. Do not allow old fears to rob you of present joy. Do not allow discouragement to take away the hope you have received. Protect and cherish the encouragement that has been given to you. Keep it close to your heart. The message says these words can serve as an anchor during difficult times. They can provide guidance when the future feels uncertain. They can give you motivation to keep moving forward when challenges arise. The message again presents itself as a sign and confirmation. It describes itself as evidence that positive change is coming. You are told that there is no need to keep asking whether God is with you. There is no need to keep wondering whether He hears your prayers. There is no need to keep questioning whether He cares about you. The message says that God has already demonstrated His concern and presence. It declares that He is speaking, guiding, and working. You are encouraged to move forward confidently. You are encouraged to walk through the opportunities that come before you. You are encouraged to receive the blessings that God is preparing. The message presents itself as the answer to your search for reassurance. It describes itself as evidence of God's faithfulness. You are encouraged to accept this message with faith and trust. You are encouraged to live with confidence in God's promises. The passage ends with a call for listeners who believe the message to respond with, Amen. It also encourages them to share the message with others who may need hope and encouragement. Please, like and subscribe.